Hello. Today I wanted to share just a little bit of my excitement that I've been experiencing lately, and that's really around, I guess, this idea of being able to travel again potentially in some places of the world as a certain places of the world appear to be opening up, supposed rules appear to be subsiding, and I guess it's kind of, it can give this kind of feel, whether it's illusionary or not, that there's an expansion, there's an allowance of being able to move freely again. And especially for certain people that have chosen certain things and chosen not to do certain things, it's been quite a wild ride for some of us. And excuse me. So yeah, I haven't been able to see many of my family members since about January 2019, and I moved to another place in which, I love tropical weather, I love tropical fruit, and that was the main reason as to why I live where I live now. And I guess there's all this kind of conceptions in the back of the mind of like, oh well, when I do need to go back and see the family for certain family matters and my favorite festival, the flight is only about 4 hours away, and the time zone difference is usually only anywhere between 2 to 3 hours difference, and so it just never seemed too far away of a trip to make. And I understand I'm in a reasonably privileged place. I've built myself up into a place in which I'm quite independent, in a sense of being able to build my own financial security. And, I'm not wealthy in some people's eyes, but I'm sure in many that may live in a third world nation or something rather, they may consider my place of quite privilege, and I'm very blessed and very grateful to be able to book a flight without having to worry about my bank account being completely empty, because also the flights are not usually super expensive. You can usually get a return flight in Australian dollars for, less than 700, and maybe less than $800 kind of thing. So it's not super expensive, but it will be in some people's eyes, and I am very well aware of that. So yeah, and so that's never been as much of an issue. It's more the fact of certain rules that have been in place, and they seem to be slowly unfolding away. And my excitement is building in the fact that I will, hopefully be able to visit the family soon and attend to a number of family matters that have been quite pressing for the last few years. There's deaths, there's births, and so, there's closures that need to happen, there's openings that need to happen, and yes, I understand the whole thing with the internet and telephones. You can get contacted almost any time, but I'm sure you're aware there's nothing quite the same as actually being in the proper, like, third dimension of physical presence with someone. Especially when that's where most of society resides in, right? And, we can go off and we can visit people in other spaces and meditations, dream times, all of that sort of stuff. But if they're not fully into all of that, it's not quite the same. And so it's really lovely to hopefully be able to visit soon. Maybe even sooner than I was expecting, because I was thinking more 2024. And that probably is more of the time frame of when pretty much everything will be removed, in the sense of not even having to probably take tests. And I'm sure in some places that's already been removed, which is great. I'm also aware that they can decide to change rules whenever they wish. We've allowed them to do that. So we're no one to blame but ourselves for all of that. but we won't go into that for the purpose of this blog. So yeah, I just wanted to express that excitement that I've been noticing. I would have rather waited until my festival, which is going to be on in early February 2023. But there's a little concern that if things may change, and then if I've left it too late, that might mean I might not be able to visit again for a number of years. So yeah, I will let you know more as that unfolds, if I feel like I want to. As you know, I don't always share a lot of what's going on in my personal life anyway, and I'm sure you respect that. But yeah, curious to know as to what travel changes you may have been experiencing yourself. Maybe you're in a place in which there appears to be even more rules being imposed upon you. How does that make you feel? Where do you stand in those decisions being made? Do you feel like it's been a very democratic process? Maybe you don't even live in a place that pretends to be in a democratic process. It's, straight out like, no, that's not the type of government that we pretend to reside in. We are, residing in some other label of government, but I also am aware that depending on where you reside, you may actually not be allowed to freely express your where you stand, and even just not even just slightly disagreeing with it could cause one to be locked up or some other restriction imposed upon you. And yeah, I just feel very blessed that I do live in a society in which you can have a differing view. However, of course, if you express that on certain platforms, you will be deplatformed, and of course, certain circles may no longer consider you an acquaintance or a friend, and that's your own interpersonal relationship journey and discovery to dive into and see where that takes you and what you have to learn from that. So anyway, yeah, that's all I wanted to express with this topic. And as I said, I'm curious if you've got anything that you'd like to share. You're welcome to in the comment section down below. I've also got an email address, and you can private message me on other social media platforms. And I will see you soon.